Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to a Friday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. We are, I'm looking over there. We are live on the spot tonight. Bolts play later on this evening, and we have got a ton to talk about. You know, every now and again, we don't have much weather, and there's not a lot, so I depend on your shenanigans and tomfoolery to keep me entertained over here on my chat. But we got a lot of weather to talk about, and not just the elephant in the room. Well, not just the obvious. The elephant in the room could also be next weekend as well. So there's so much stuff. So if you're new to the show, if you're just tuning in, this is kind of the way it works, all right? We are live on TV right now. We have 3 commercial breaks over the half hour. During those commercial breaks, we have a lot of interaction, chat one-on-one on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever the case may be. And then after 7:58, when the show ends, we continue on streaming and we continue on the apps. And I'll just answer your questions as long as you have them. So I know we have a lot of folks who are interested in what's going to happen with ice, what's going to happen with snow, but also what's going to happen next weekend where there could be another storm. Now, usually, I've been texting my son. So today, this afternoon, the University of Florida announced their freshman class. They sent out acceptance letters to people who had applied. And my son Jake did get into UF. He's deciding what direction he wants to go. So I've been texting with him. Congratulations to Jake. It's a big thing. UF is not an easy institution to get into, I'll tell you. So, but again, we normally do our hellos, but we have so many people in tonight and so many folks, you know, usually on social. We've got Carol. How you doing? Nice to see you, Carol. Dave, Karen Homosassa. Again, lots and lots of people. St. Pete, Maria, Newport Richey, Sherry, Chesapeake, Virginia. So I am noticing there's a lot of people, Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut. So yeah, I noticed we have a lot of people who are interested in my take on the winter weather. I spent a good portion of my forecasting life up north. I went to Penn State, so I definitely have some experience in this sort of thing. But before we get into, and by the way, thank you for the congratulations to Jake. So before we get into the actual forecasting of the day, you may notice we have 2 band buttons now. We have the old one. Rest in peace, old one. Last week we were using this and I hit it too hard and it broke. And I was just thinking, I was just going to trash this and throw it in the trash can and introduce the new band button. It's back. And then I thought to myself, is there anyone out there who possibly might want to have the original DPL band button autographed in one of those little, you know, the little mini football helmet cases that they have? If I were to put if you don't, they have them, because I've got a lot of them. If I were to put the mini band button in one of those and autograph it, personalized autograph, and then donate the proceeds to charity, I thought that might work. So that's something I'm considering for, and maybe have it just show up on my Facebook page and maybe have an eBay link. I don't know how to do that sort of thing. But donate at Feeding Tampa Bay. You know, we do a lot of work with Feeding Tampa Bay and we love them. So that might be kind of fun. So, you know, the original band button in an autograph thing, personalized, I don't know. I'm gonna work on that because I think that might be fun. But the new one is here and ready to go. So if you're watching on the spot, you're like, what in the heck is he talking about? On our social channels, when somebody starts spamming, when somebody starts talking politics, when somebody just gets rude, or when somebody decides to be really lippy to the host, that's not true. They can do that. They're gone, and I just ban them. So anyway, that's something we're thinking about. And but boy, oh boy, we have got a lot to talk about. So here's what I want to do first. Let's get local out of the way because the weekend's going to be beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our local weather. And then we'll talk about the snow and the ice and the potential storm next weekend for the state of Florida. Drought numbers are updated every Thursday. They look no different, nor will they. I can't expect we're going to see much of a change in any way, shape, or form anytime right on through the spring. So there is a look at radar, and all is quiet. All right, things are looking good. We're not freezing on Facebook. All in all, I think it's pretty good. So glad we have your approval, Anna Maria. All right, 60s to lower 70s, Lakeland 73, Bartow 73, Riverview 70, 67 in Clearwater, 64 Newport Richey. 70 degrees right now in partly cloudy skies in Tampa, humidity at 78%. Rosie, how you doing? Sandy and Land O'Lakes, good to see you. Radar looks good. Boy, what a beautiful day it was today. And tomorrow will be every bit as nice for the Children's Parade, the Gasparilla Children's Parade. Charles Harper, Largo, my friend, how are you? Gator graduate of 1969, Columbus, Ohio in the house. Rule number 7, Middle Tennessee. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an issue. But the snow issue is not a big concern for me. I'm telling you flat out, the snow, yes, it is going to snow a lot. But more often than not, snow is not a major issue. It is the ice. And for us, the forecast looks great right through Sunday. Front comes in Monday morning, and we get some scattered showers. Look at the highs tomorrow, low to mid 80s, beautiful day. And then the big drop in temperatures. There they are, highs in the 50s, lower 60s by Thursday and Friday, and next weekend is the big question mark for so many things, for Gasparilla, for the Stadium Series, for the Kumquat Festival. So, Julian, you are right, but when there's hurricane season, we have tens of thousands of people on this stream, and I'm not exaggerating. When there's a hurricane anywhere around the Gulf or whatever, we go literally tens of thousands of people. So this is a little bit different, but the winter storm is definitely going to bring some folks out, I would expect. So anyway, there's a chance of a little bit of rain on Monday, and that's about it, right? That's really about it. Again, I will be talking about national ice, snow, everything coming up in after the next break, all right? But I did want to show you locally what's going on. So there's a look at the overall snow coverage by tomorrow morning. Ice is in pink. Through midnight tomorrow night, there's the snow, there's the ice. And I will give you exact forecast numbers coming up after the break. But this is kind of an overview. Then it goes up toward New York and Boston and New England and whatnot. The ice will be the biggest concern here. not the snow. Yes, it is going to snow. But you know what? Most of the time, if it snows, you stay inside and you're fine. You don't normally get a lot of power outages with snow. You might get some, but normally you don't. And then we look at next weekend, and we'll talk about that coming up after the break. There's the Euro, snow accumulation. That purple color is over a foot. Some areas up to 2 feet of snow. That's quite a snowstorm, my friends. But it isn't something that they haven't gone through before. Ice is the biggest concern for me. And there is a look at, especially in southwestern Virginia, my mom's and my grandma, Big Stone Gap, Johnson City, Tennessee, those areas could see some significant icing. You know, the Wilson family is from there as well. Paul Wilson, Mark Wilson, John Wilson, all this. They grew up in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, where my mom was. And there's a look at, again, eventually what I think is going to be a significant icing, and that's going to be dangerous for folks up north. How you doing, Estelle? All right, and there's the 7-day. There is the 7-day as we see colder air coming back. All right, so we are going to hit our first break, and then we are going to dive deep into snowfall totals, ice totals, and long-range forecast for the state of Florida, which very well could bring more snow next weekend. That in 90 seconds as DPL continues. All right, so we are in our break right now. And Terry, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, Timmy, you are totally good in our area, absolutely. No worries whatsoever. We are totally good in our area. It's going to be a little chilly, but that's about it. So yeah, we might be a little late on the break, but I think we're pretty good. We got to hit our next break. We're going to kind of go through. So the next segments, we are going to, let me call them up here. We are going to just start with specifics of ice and snow for all areas. And then the last segment, or the next segment after that, we will talk about long range for next weekend, and then the final segment, a quick Q&A. So I'm definitely going to have to kind of fly through this. I'm not see. I'll have to look for Jody. I'm sure we'll see. Boy, you look at all these questions. Pickens, South Carolina, Philly. Here's what we're going to do. All right, I'm going to give you guys overviews on all these areas. You're going to look at the maps and you'll know what you're interested in. Then specific cities will happen after 7:58 once we're off TV. Because right now, this is not the last cold front, Bob. Not even close. All right, we are back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live on the Spot. Thank you much for watching, for tuning in on this Friday night. So let's jump in. We got all our folks on social, and they've been talking during the commercial break, and they're like, well, what about here and what about there? We are going to answer all the questions after our television show, but I do want to give a real solid overview for the folks who are not on social. So we are going to be talking about all of them. All right, so we are going to start right now with freezing rain, all right? This is the freezing rain map, and we're going to start with tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Freezing rain, southern Arkansas, northern Alabama, northern Louisiana. This takes us to tomorrow night. Overnight, freezing rain moves into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and much of Tennessee. By 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, actually, let's even go before that. 2 a.m. Sunday morning, freezing rain goes into the Carolinas. Freezing rain is that glaze of ice. Freezing rain is a liquid that freezes on contact and turns into a glaze of ice. All right? Freezing rain continues on Sunday morning throughout central North Carolina and southern Virginia, and also western Tennessee. And then the freezing rain is gone. All right? Now, let's go at snow. How about snow in that same area? All right? Saturday afternoon, you've already seen snow in northern Arkansas of 7 to 10 inches. Overnight, Saturday night, there's the snow in western Tennessee, 2 to 4 inches of snow Nashville. Snow continues to spread eastward. You clearly notice not nearly as much snow across the southeast as you will see across the north and the northeast. Sunday night, these are still your overall snowfall totals, and that's as far as they're going to go. So there are your snowfall totals for the southeast, all right? But what about the northeast? Clearly another animal entirely, all right? Saturday morning, 8 a.m., snow begins to fall in most of upstate New York. That is not the system that we're talking about. That's another system because you see it coming in from the southwest. Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, there comes the snow. All right, I'm going to go back a little bit. So that's overnight. That's 2 a.m. Saturday night. 8 a.m. Sunday. Heavy snow starts to fall in southwestern Virginia. Already 4 to 6 inches of snow by that point. Same for Kentucky, southern Ohio, central Indiana. 2 p.m. on Sunday, snowfall totals in the D.C. area, 6 to 8 inches of snow. 3 to 5 in Pennsylvania. 6 to 8 in southern Ohio. Overnight, Sunday night, Monday morning, now up to 6 to 10 inches of snow. In that, this is total snowfall accumulations. In the pink, 6 to 10. The snow spreads into Boston. You start to see it come into Boston actually by the late afternoon. There it is by 8 o'clock Sunday night, 6 to 8 in the purple area. Continuing overnight, 2 a.m. Sunday night, Monday morning, 6 to 10 inches of snow, 6 to 10 inches in western Maryland. And then by 8 a.m. Monday morning, a solid 6 to 10 inches across all of southern New England. And that is ultimately what the new Euro is showing, about a foot of snow in these areas. Down a little bit from where they were before yesterday. And lastly, the Mid-Atlantic. All right, here we go. This is a look at ice, freezing rain for the Mid-Atlantic. This is not a freezing rain system for the Mid-Atlantic, at least not much. You will see it for central and southwestern Virginia. You'll have a mix of rain and sleet, freezing rain and snow. This is 2 p.m. on Sunday. What was snow turns into freezing rain. Most of Virginia changes over to freezing rain. That includes northern Virginia, Fairfax County. That includes western Maryland, Anne Arundel County, areas back toward Garrett County, which would probably be more snow. That is obviously my old stomping grounds. I know that area pretty well. And in the Delmarva, that is freezing rain from Annapolis through Easton, back to Salisbury, Dover, Delaware, freezing rain, and then it changes over to rain. What about snow for that same area? All right, the Mid-Atlantic snow, here we go. 2 p.m. on Saturday, 8 p.m. on Saturday night, 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Sunday morning. This is mostly a Sunday significant event in the terms of snow from the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast. That's Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. That's Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. It is a solid 4 to 8 inches of snow. And then by 8 p.m. on Sunday night, you're looking at 6 to 10 inches of snow, mixing with freezing rain at times. For Virginia, not western Maryland, the Baltimore area, the D.C. area, Pennsylvania will be all snow, with the exception of Philly. I do think Philly's going to be a combination, a period of freezing rain in both. So there it is. So overall, and again, here's freezing rain as well for the central area, okay? There's your freezing rain. Atlanta, all of South Carolina, most of North Carolina. Heaviest freezing rain will be Sunday morning. Atlanta, right on the fringe. South Carolina, the Carolinas, in through Virginia. It is going to be an absolute mess. All right? So, that is an overview of what's going on, where the snow and the freezing rain is. When we come back, we'll take a look at the long range through next weekend with another storm developing. That as DPO continues. Okay, so guys, And again, I see all your questions on Facebook. I am not going to answer specific spots until 7:58, because right now we're doing the TV stuff and we're giving a nice little overview. So anybody who wants specific things answered, I am going to be here for you. I ain't going anywhere. I will be happy to answer all your questions. We are still not freezing on Facebook. So what a glorious day to be alive, because we often freeze. All right, now I'm going to show you guys this. We're on TV in 50 seconds, but I'm just going to give you a quick preview of what I'm going to show you here. Check this out. Okay, this is next weekend. There's your GFS, my friends. Saturday night. If this verifies, oh my heavens. Look at the rain. Look at the low, a 996 millibar right on top of us with snow in the panhandle and heavy rain in our area through Sunday. The GFS has it out of here in time for the Stadium Series. And then a nor'easter, another one, a big one up the East Coast. Holy moly. The Euro is about a day and a half slower and not quite as bullish as it goes out to sea. But can you believe it if that were to happen? Oh my. Back in 3, 2. All right, we are back, and I'm showing models. I was showing the Facebook and the Instagram and the YouTube folks the models. Let's jump in, because for the TV folks, we do not have a lot of time. All right, so here we go. We got one more break we got to hit, right, guys? All right, so here's a look at the Euro, on the GFS rather. 7 p.m. tomorrow night, 7 a.m. Monday morning. The purple is the freezing rain. South Carolina, North Carolina. Sleet is the orange color, which is like ice pellets, right? 7 p.m. on Sunday night, just heavy snow from the Ohio Valley to the Northeast, and an absolute debacle, a mess from the Carolinas. That's rain in Atlanta by then. Potentially some thunderstorms too, by the way. And then look at the 540 line and the cold air behind it. And then we're quiet for about 5 days. Look at next Friday. Look in the Western Gulf. Low pressure develops in the Western Gulf. And by the way, the Euro shows the same thing. They're not identical, but they both, a week out, show a significant storm developing in the Western Gulf. This is Gasparilla Day. Low pressure develops in the Gulf. The GFS, this is 7 p.m. on Saturday rather. It's 8 days out. Again, take it with a grain of salt. But what I am showing is that both models are developing low pressure in the Gulf, and we'll see what happens. Because if this happens, we are potentially looking, the GFS has another nor'easter coming right up the East Coast. The Euro does not show that. The Euro brings it out to sea. But my concern is this is 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, and this is 7 p.m. on Sunday night. My concern, obviously, would be the Stadium Series game at Ray J, the outdoor hockey game. You got to take this with a grain of salt. But the Euro also shows development in the Western Gulf about 18 hours later. There it is. There's 7 a.m. Sunday. There's 7 p.m. Sunday. It moves across South Florida and moves out to sea, but close. See that? So that is a week out. Right now, here's what the Euro shows for this weekend. Ice is purple, snow is blue. 7 p.m. on Saturday. There's the freezing rain, there's the snow. 7 a.m. on Sunday, large area of freezing rain. All the Carolinas, all South Carolina, eastern Texas, all of Arkansas, most of Tennessee. That is Sunday morning. That is a nightmare ice storm. 7 p.m., it changes over to rain, potentially a squall line, by the way. Can you imagine going from an ice storm to an area of severe weather? Thunderstorms. And then that freezing rain goes into, now this is interesting because that freezing rain goes into Northern Virginia, Northern Delaware, Philadelphia, probably sleet and freezing rain as opposed to snow by 7 p.m. on Sunday. And then all that heavy snow moves out to sea, and then all that cold air comes down. All right? It was a lot. That's a lot of information. We have one more break. We'll answer some questions when we come back on the flip side, and then we will stay here live on socials to answer all your questions about what will be a very large winter storm impacting tens of millions of people right through the weekend. Our last segment on that coming up as DPL continues. Holy cow, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, don't we? Yikes. I've not even been looking at the questions because I've been trying to focus on what we're actually doing here. But I promise you I will. I will be answering all your questions. And happy birthday to Mary Lisa. Happy birthday, Mary Lisa. Terry wants to know about OC, hon. Get your natty bows ready. Going down the shore? Going down the shore, Terry. I will be going down the shore this summer. Almost every year, not every year, but almost every year, we take a trip up to OC or Fenwick Island or whatever. Going down the shore, get me some crabs. Yeah, I love that. All right, we are in the last 45 seconds. So, before the break is over. So it is Mary Lisa's birthday. Terry, how you doing? Good to see you. Will the freezing rain start okay, when will the freezing, okay, so again, I'm going to do individual stuff coming up after we're off TV. But I will talk about Atlanta because that's actually, the ice is going to be an issue. Emily's asking about all these questions. All right, we're back, and then we're only on TV for another 3 minutes. We hit all our breaks tonight. 3, 2. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our last segment of Dennis Phillips Live on the spot. The Tampa Bay Lightning are coming up shortly on the spot. You'll want to stick around, catch the Bolts game. They are one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now. But hot is not the appropriate weather word. It is cold, and it's going to get a lot colder than that. All right, so people keep asking questions on social. I keep saying I'm not answering questions until after we're off TV, which is in 3 minutes. All right, let's do it again. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. There's your ice. Melissa's asking how much ice in D.C. I think a half an inch to an inch is probably about right. I really do. 7 p.m. Saturday night. Freezing rain, northern Mississippi, most of Arkansas, snow in northern Arkansas, and snow extending in the northern half of Texas. Through 7 a.m. This is around like 2 a.m. overnight, Saturday night, Sunday morning. More ice. Look at all that ice. So I just talked to my buddy Mike from Mike's Weather Page, and Mike is driving north, and he's going to go chase some ice. And I'm like, dude, oh, Bolts are on ESPN. Oh, my bad. I think I talked about that yesterday. I thought we were on late, but maybe not. Maybe we're just on ESPN. That might be it. So thank you for the update, Jules. Bolts are down 1-0 on a sus goal. But anyway, so Mike is going to be tackling freezing rain. I'm like, dude, that is the one thing you do not want to tackle. Freezing rain is a nightmare. All right, so there's a look. 7 a.m. Purple is freezing rain. Blue is snow. You see it? Look at the area of the city that you're interested in. I'm sure you know where it is geographically. And look at it. Blue is snow. Purple is freezing rain. There's 7 p.m. on Sunday. Most of it turns to rain in the south. The frozen precipitation will be over by 7 p.m. Sunday night. Heavy snow across the northeast and ice from D.C. to Baltimore to Philly back to Virginia. And then the cold air comes in. And we'll see about next weekend. Is it going to be this? Is it going to be this? Time will tell. Both of which could be a serious 1-2 punch. All right, guys. So here's what we're doing. We're going to continue on the socials. I will just sit here and answer your questions. If you're watching on the spot, you can flip over if you'd like any additional information. But again, for the Bay Area, the weekend will be beautiful, sunny and warm, mostly sunny and warm. Rain on Monday morning and turning much colder Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. And thanks for watching DPL. Hit the out. All right. I think I got stepped on by about a half a second yesterday, so I wanted to make sure I was out at 59. Hold on. Let's ask Master Control, because I thought he said that we had the Bolts game, but we must not because it's on right now. We must have the pregame. Stand by. Hey, so we don't have the Bolts game tonight? No, we just had the pregame. Got it. It's on ESPN tonight. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, man. Bye-bye. So you're correct. Every now and again, there's a game on Hulu or HBO or ESPN or whatever, and we have the overwhelming majority of the games, but tonight we had the pregame at 6:30 to 7, but we had DPL. So I'm thankful that we had the opportunity for DPL because there's lots of people asking questions. Okay. So I am here for you now. Let me see if my son texted me. He probably knows that I'm on DPL. Yeah, so lots of his buddies got into UF as well, so he's looking about getting roommates and whatnot, so that's exciting. Okay, anyway. All right, guys. So here we go. Here we go. I am here for you. The band button's working. This one I think we're going to auction off. And we've got a great weekend coming ahead for us before we get cold again. Okay, Atlanta. Caleb wants to know about Atlanta. Let's just start showing some maps, shall we? All right. We are losing 1-0 in the hockey game. All right. Atlanta. Southeast. Here we go. This is the freezing rain map. Atlanta will be getting freezing rain from around midnight Saturday night through about 10 a.m. No, maybe even through early afternoon, and then it changes over to rain. It's kind of better to look at this map, I think, because it kind of gives you everything. So, in fact, you know what we'll do? Let's also take a southeast perspective on this one. So that way, you can just look at the southeast. All right, here we go. All right. This is, you know what? Actually, you know what I want to do? Maybe I can even do less than 6-hour increments. Yeah, let's do 3-hour increments. And we'll do it for like 4 days. And that way, we can really break it down. How about that? How about that, guys? It's like, what's he talking about? All right, you'll see what I'm talking about. It gives us 3-hour increments, which just makes it a lot better if it'll load up for us here. Come on, you can do it. Is the internet still good? Yeah, I think it is. No, he hasn't decided yet, Denise. All right, here we go. Every 3 hours, all right? We're going to start tomorrow morning right here. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., okay? Tomorrow morning at 11. Tomorrow afternoon at 2. Tomorrow afternoon at 5. Tomorrow afternoon at 8. 7 or 8. That's when they start to see a little bit of freezing rain in Atlanta. Northern Mississippi's already seeing it. Then 10 o'clock tomorrow night. 10-ish. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., Saturday night, Sunday morning. Still freezing rain in Atlanta. And by the way, look in the Carolinas too, because you can see the ice. Staying ice in Atlanta until about 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Somebody already bid 100. How did they bid 100? Now, whoever said I'll give you 50 for the old band button, no. Now we can talk about it a little bit more because we're not on TV. We're not as pressed for time. We decided what we're going to do is we are going to put this in one of those little mini football containers, which are really like the, with the covering around it, autograph it, and donate the proceeds to Feeding Tampa Bay. It's a win-win. So what I'll do is I'll find one of those places that you can do an auction, and I'll put it up on my page. And then we'll donate the money, right? It's a win-win. The original band button, the first band button ever on local news. Maybe. I don't know. Certainly the first one on DPL. And we will autograph it and donate it to charity. Randy's already up to 150. Okay, so I'm going to post an auction. We'll have like a week-long auction. I don't know. Because, again, it's going to charity. The first banned button ever. Think how many people have been banned. Whatever. We'll talk about that more later. Let's get back to weather. Okay. Southern Virginia looks like a lot of ice. All right, so there's Atlanta. I'll just go ahead and show you the Carolinas too, because there's a lot of people on about the Carolinas. So here's your ice. All right, this is 7 a.m. Saturday. So it looks to me like the ice is going to hit the Carolinas starting about 2 a.m. on Saturday night, 5 a.m. on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Sunday morning, all of North Carolina, the backside of Tennessee, all of Arkansas. 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, still ice. 2 p.m. on Sunday, still ice. 5 p.m. on Sunday, ice tapering off, and then it turns to rain. Now, this is interesting, okay? Let me tell you why this is interesting. Because normally when you have a snowstorm and you get a foot or two of snow, that snow will last for a while, okay? Here's what's going to be really fascinating about this storm for the South, for the Carolinas. We should call Mike and do a hit with him. Oh, we're frozen. Oh, no, we froze. Boo. Okay, YouTube is good. Facebook froze. Interesting. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop the